cheap laptops. We rate the best sellers on Amazon and Best Buy. Every computer enthusiast knows the conversation, the one you get from friends or family. Hey, I need to buy a new laptop. What do you think of this Acer so-and-so? Or should I get this Dell that costs $50 less? They seem pretty similar. Yep, with great computer knowledge comes great responsibility. With the holidays looming, such questions are likely to ramp up as people consider laptops for gifts. So in the spirit of offering you the same expert advice I'd give to my nearest and dearest, I've combed through the best-selling budget laptop lists from both Amazon and Best Buy and weighed the pros and cons, taking into account the various configurations and specs. Both lists change quite rapidly, so I'm basing this on a snapshot in time, namely, the best-selling laptops on the morning of November 7, 2017. This month, Intel flexes its muscles and dominates the best sellers on both Amazon and Best Buy. While we see everything from Atom derivatives to Core i7, there isn't a single AMD chip in the lot. Are these reviews? Absolutely not. But I still think there's a lot of value in helping out those who can't tell an Atom from a Core i7. Amazon's top-selling laptops frequently change positions, but this is where things stood on November 7, 2017. In August, Amazon's top 5 sellers were dominated by Windows 10, but the fall seems to favor Chrome OS, with 3 of the 5 most popular models bearing Google's Chromebook brand. Here's what we think of the best sellers. Acer's Budget E15 topped Amazon's best-selling list the last time we visited it in August, and more than 3 months later, the Aspire E15 is still sitting on top. It's easy to see why consumers have voted for this $349 model. This top seller gives you a dual-core, 7th-generation Intel Core i3 to 7100, 4 GB of DDR4 RAM, a 1 TB 5400 RPM hard drive, and a DVD burner. Its display, a 15.6-inch 1920x1080 or Full HD panel, is also notable and pretty good for the price. Read our full review of the laptop. A Core i3 might not sound as impressive as a Core i5, which boasts a 700 MHz, or roughly 30%, advantage, but for the average consumer, the actual performance difference is unlikely to be noticeable. That's because a system's hard drive is usually the bottleneck to performance. And at this price, you're almost always going to get a hard drive, as opposed to an SSD. Relatively ancient hard drive technology is about as slow and cumbersome as playing music on vinyl versus an MP3. Fortunately, the Aspire E15 is easy to service, so if you can afford to upgrade to a solid-state drive down the line, do it. Graphics performance, which mostly impacts gaming, is also sacrificed in this budget Aspire. Rather than a dedicated graphics chip with its own memory pool, the Aspire E15 uses Intel's integrated HD 620 graphics. It results in nearly half the graphics performance of Acer's beefier Aspire E15, number 3 on the list right now, but it need not be a deal breaker. It will still handle most light 2D gaming such as Minecraft, just don't expect miracles. One final thing to note is that of the 10 laptops in this story, the Aspire E15 is among the heaviest at 5.3 pounds. The only other laptop to weigh this much is the other Acer Aspire E15 on this list. Still, it's a fine notebook and we give it a thumbs up. For budget shoppers, it's a close call between this and the number 2 bestseller. This is the real fight. Verdict: thumbs up. Amazon bestseller rank. Number 2, Acer's Chromebook R11 convertible, which sells for $249, is new to our list, but there's a lot of good here. In the past, we've been unimpressed by Chromebooks that convert into tablets, but maybe we've been too harsh. The Chromebook R11 convertible features an Intel Celeron N3150, which is, for the most part, an Atom X5 on steroids. It's a little underpowered for pushing Windows 10, but Chrome OS is considerably less bulky. Perhaps more importantly, the Chromebook R11 comes standard with 4 GB of RAM. Budget and mid-range Chromebooks used to come with just 2 GB, which was borderline unusable for those who heavily multitask. The R11 features an 11.6-inch touchscreen, which might seem small, but as a tablet, it's a good size. The screen itself is an IPS panel, which means the Chromebook R11 will give you great off-axis viewing and far more color fidelity than much cheaper screens. Acer also goes the extra step and uses an SSD instead of the much cheaper and generally much slower M.2 drives. This all means the Chromebook R11 has the features to warrant its price. Whether it's worth it for you depends on your needs. Having a touchscreen isn't a must-have, but it can be nice. The same goes with the tablet mode. Yes, you could forego these features and save almost $75 with the number 4 on this list, but the R11 is still a fine product.